Hello Forge fans, today we turn 10 and as we look back on all the ways the game has changed, there has been one constant throughout, the support of our players and our communities. This support is what allowed us to reach these 10 years and made the Forge communities the special place that they are. Therefore, there is no more fitting tribute than to use your words. Over the next 10 videos, we will share experiences from long-term players to show why Forge has a special place in their hearts. In this video, it is our privilege to present the experiences of Violet from the US server. But before we begin, subscribe to our channel to make sure you don't miss any videos about Forge of Empires.
Hi, I'm a player on the US server. I currently play in the world East Nagak, but my story is about when I played on a previous account with the username Violet. I played in a few different worlds, but primarily Angkor back then. And so I began playing back then in December 2018, and I was randomly assigned to Angkor, so that was where my main city was. It was back when it was a relatively new world, and I had a great time, and I was drawn in immediately, and I loved the historical nature of the game. I was determined to play in a way that was kind, honest, and fair, and I wanted to advance my city as quickly as possible, despite everybody telling me that I needed to hold back, take my time, build an arc. Never built an arc. Who builds an arc? Nobody builds an arc, right? After trying out a few guilds that didn't quite work out for me, I ended up joining Last Dynasty in May or early June of 2019 because the guild leader and I disagree. I remember it being May and he remembers it being June. So I work late into the evening for my job, and he would keep similar hours as a result of caring for his ill mother. So I would look forward to playing the game after work. He would play the game at the end of his day. And so for months, we would just chit chat while we played the game. And I would always have a great time insisting on aging up. You know, it was way too soon. But too soon or what? I could always do 64 encounters in the guild expedition, and I could always defend my city against attackers. So, you know, how's that too soon, right? Every time I aged up, he always thought that I would need so much help from him to keep going, and I never needed any help from him. I remind him still, I never needed help from him. And ultimately, I went on to outrank him despite having been a newer player. He always played longer than me, both in that world and in the game overall. He was leading a top 10 guild at that time. And then when Birka opened up, we both stayed up late that night, and we started new cities there, and we ran a new guild together for a few months before we both gave up play in that world. We had a few minutes in the very beginning of that world when I was the top player. Saw myself get overtaken quite quickly, but it was still kind of fun to see that in the world. I ended up leaving his guild in Angkor Last Dynasty twice. The second time, the guild leader reached out to me as he wanted to continue the friendship, even though I wasn't part of the guild. And we began to become friends in real life, and we would call and text each other. We quickly then fell for each other. And in March of 2020, just a couple of weeks before the COVID lockdowns happened, I flew 300 miles to meet him in person for the first time. And since then, we've traveled back and forth to see one another as often as we could. After some time, we managed to get the timing down to once every 3 weeks. But then even still, the distance was just heartbreaking. We'd met each other's families. We grew really committed to each other. We knew that we had to be together. So even though I quit the game multiple times again since then, initially turning my main city that was at Oceanic Future into a floating wasteland of only my absolute favorite great buildings, the Colosseum, the Space Needle, Lotus Flower, you know, a sight to behold. It was a great time getting rid of that city. Fast forward to April 2021, and he put his house on the market, and he came to stay with me while it sold. So in July 2021, he purchased a home for us to live together in the area where I live, leaving behind his friends and family to be with me. We remain together to this day, and we visit his family and hometown as much as possible. We absolutely credit Forge of Empires for our love story and for bringing us together, and there are existing players who can corroborate the story. Whether we're chosen as winners or not, playing this game together has changed our lives forever, and I can't believe I met the love of my life in this game.
I hope you enjoyed the video today and the moment that was shared. Over the last 10 years, Forge of Empires has been core to our lives. It's about the day-to-day friendships and the moments we shared that makes us come back time and time again. Before we sign off today, we want to thank you very much for your contribution and for us reaching these milestones over the last 10 years. We hope to see you over the next 10 years. Well, that's all for us in this video, but please make sure to give us a like and subscribe to never miss any more content about Forge of Empires.